And it's your favorite yoga soldier, aka the yoga bro, Nelly Yoga in the building. And I'm here with my sis.
And you already know it's your number one aunt, TKD. You already
Everybody's
know.
favorite auntie.
Making them biscuits and shaping them
Them
like hearts and
biscuits, baby.
everything.
Are we eating biscuits today? Because I will come. Stop playing with me, okay? I don't even know why she even said something about biscuits, and then she not gonna make me no biscuits. Like, stop.
Maybe
We have a special guest in here with us today, Tony. Say hi to the people.
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. It's a great pleasure to be here, and I can't believe the energy that I'm feeling between these two ladies. I'm going to shut up because I can talk a lot, and I want to give them a chance to get their show on the road.
And we're going to tell y'all all about who he is in a few minutes.
Yeah, we're going to get into a couple topics first, and then we are going to definitely dive into why Tony is here. Shout out to our new co-host, Shellyano. For whatever reason, he's not here right now. Maybe
Probably
he's en route. Maybe he's on the way. Maybe he had a long studio session last night because, you know, he's a very busy artist.
Yes, he is.
That's Mr. 106th Park. You know what I'm saying? So put some respect on that man's name. You know, we got to start our show the way we start our show every Wednesday. Sound mind, clear mind, sound heart. Soften your gaze, allow your eyes to come to a gentle close. Focus on your destination if you're driving in your car. Take a nice deep cleansing, healing breath in through your nostrils. Exhale, cleanse, detox, and release. Take another healing, cleansing breath in through your nostrils. And exhale, cleanse, detox, and release anything from the mind, body, and spirit that is taking up space and serves no purpose here. Slowly come back into awareness. Prepare for this conversation. Prepare for all the stuff that I'm going to talk about today.
Get that deep breathing.
So I figure I'm going to get the fuckery out the way first.
Wow.
You see that change up? Yeah.
That's why I like this show.
You see the change up? We're going to get the fuckery out the way.
That's why I like this podcast.
Good morning. It just got chilly. Just got chilly in here.
Good morning, baby.
The bro just chill stepped in the building. You know what I mean? Say hi to the folks. I mean, you ain't got to get off the camera because it's always good to have people's opinions and the voice of the folk up here. You know, we got to talk about Philly Got Bars. That's one of my Philly Got Bar affiliates, associates, and all that. So we making some things happen behind the scenes. You might as well just pull up a stool, tell Toucan you need a mic. You know what I mean?
You want a spot.
That's how I go around here. You know.
All I want to know is how do I have this kind of talent living so close to me and don't even know it?
I know.
Because God keeps all his stuff secret.
Yeah.
You know, so Temple University is correct with their motto. We have diamonds
in
our own backyard.
You already know.
Yes, we do.
And they're correct. All right, I'm shut up.
Yes, we do. No. This ain't the place to shut up. This is the place to say whatever.
Listen, when you don't shut up, you don't learn. So I need to learn from y'all.
Mr. King, yes, that is Mr. King. You know this gentleman. This gentleman knows you.
Oh, he knows me.
How are you, man? Look at the world.
Look at that. Talk about synergy. See the synergy and the energy.
I love that.
Let me just make sure I got this right.
This
is the same Mr. King that worked at the U Study Center.
Yes, sir.
All right now,
Look
y'all.
at that.
So
Look at that. I love this.
let me take my glasses off or whatever. I'm a little intoxicated. However, whatever. Good morning. My name. Well, I ain't saying my name all loud. But Mr. King.
He's chill now.
The governor.
I'm chill now. Mr. King was one of the many people that was a big influence for me while I was actually at the Youth Study Center.
Don't make me cry.
I was at the Youth Study Center for about 4.5 to 6 months.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, it's a lot of us like that.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
So I was there for the time of Connor. We had what was the guy name that played basketball for St. Joe's?
Oh man, I forgot those names. Some of those.
Connor. It was something Connor.
Marvin O'Connor.
Marvin O'Connor.
Go ahead, D.
Marvin O'Connor. That's exactly who it was. That's my guy. Shout out to him, however, whatever. But make a long story short, he was a positive influence.
Wow.
Me and Mr. King had multiple conversations.
Wow.
I love this.
And the fact that me to walk in here and it's like, wait a minute, this guy looks like Mr. King.
I forgot
Hold
about
on.
this.
Like, and you know what? I don't forget anything. Fortunately and unfortunately. But fortunately, like I said, you made an impact in my life. Marvin O'Connor made an impact in my life. Miss C. Oh, Miss C. Miss C made a major impact on my life.
Oh, my
she
God.
used to call me lieutenant, like, because I always had like a boss spirit.
She was the Joan of Arc.
Yes.
She was a beautiful woman that controlled everything with her tongue. I mean, that woman could, like, you know, she had everything under control.
I
So
love that.
that's my era. And the fact that
that's
for me to
so
come in
dope.
here and you just be sitting here
Shout out
is,
to the youth
everything
study
happened for a
centers
reason.
and stuff.
Everything happened for a reason.
Shout out to
So
Never
with
Know
that being
You.
said, I have not been back since you guys seen me. And I was 16 at the time.
Amen.
I'm 37.
Wow.
Nice.
Oh, you were I don't want to say, what do we call them? Youths? You were one of the youths.
No. I was actually a criminal.
Okay, I was trying to not use that word. I was trying not to use that word.
Delinquent.
Yeah, right. I was one of the youths. You were one of the youths.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes, I was
okay.
one of those. It was actually me and my cousin at the time. Me and my
Yes.
cousin Morgan. He ain't nobody. We had came in, and I actually had to come back. And you were there both times. However, they wanted to put me up on the 5th floor and all that stuff like that. But like I said, the way
And the
life is
universe.
crazy. It's just
That's
it's
so
crazy. It's crazy.
I'm so glad that you recognized me because I loved that job. I loved it so much. And the biggest problems were not you guys. It was the staffers. They were the biggest problems. And then I got injured. And that's why I had to. I was no longer there because I got injured. I got a permanently broken finger. A chair got thrown inside the office, and I blocked. You know, but that's why I'm no longer there. But
I caught my first injury, like real injury there, like that. It was worse than prison sometimes in that job.
Wow.
yeah,
But like I said, it was an experience,
Yes.
and that I learned from,
Yes.
and better myself as a man. So
Shout out to you, Tony, for getting your flowers
big
this
shout
morning.
out
Thank
to
you very
not
much.
knowing
Big shout
who.
out.
Flowers this
I
morning.
just want to say that right there is a testament to being a good person at all times.
Yes.
Yes.
facts.
Yes.
Must be
Because you
professional.
never know
No.
in your life who you may. Tony doesn't
Yes.
even really remember the young man. But the fact that this young man, he made such an impact on his life at that meaningful stage in his life,
Yes.
when boys are going in and out of the youth study center at that age, the fact that he never went back, the fact that he recognized
This the original you study
Like,
center.
Yes,
the
original.
The one that used to drop the
When he
sheets
talking
out
about
the
we
window.
talking about
Yes.
Pennsylvania
Pennsylvania
Avenue, right
Avenue.
across the street from Central
Pennsylvania.
Booking.
That's the only one I know. I forgot about that.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
But that's so
That is
dope.
amazing.
That's awesome.
That's
So
amazing.
Nothing
Yes.
happens.
I'm
That's
glad.
why everything. There is no coincidence in anything.
Not at all.
Yes.
In life.
Yeah, that's
because
crazy.
Me and Miss
that's
C
dope.
were partners.
That's
Yes.
And I was her co-pilot because she was the boss. And I was her co-pilot. And we worked very well together.
Yes, I'm-
and I loved talking to, leading you guys down the hallways. That's when I talked to they used the most, when I had to lead them down the hallway. And they be in their room and I give them a little short lecture. And then I get out of there.
If you and Miss C are still in contact, tell her that her lieutenant is still running ish.
That's what she called you? Because guess what? She had lieutenants because that's how effective she was. And she was a beautiful, beautiful woman.
She called me lieutenant and she called my cousin country because he talked like with a lisp. She was. But shout out to Miss C, man. Shout out to you study
Shout
center.
out to all the people that work with the youth, because that is a
shout
tough
out to all
job.
Yeah,
I work with the
Yeah,
youth.
facts.
Deej helped me at the
Facts.
YMCA with the youth, so it's like it's a very meaningful thing to
It's
do.
very
It's very
rewarding.
rewarding. Even at times when you don't realize it, you might feel drained and burnt out by the kids sometimes, but it is definitely something that comes back around. You know, you get. Thank you for doing what you did.
Thank you. I want to
And-
say
and
one
getting your
quick.
flowers. This
I just
morning.
want to say one quick thing. It was
Sure.
easier in that environment to have an impact because things were under control.
Right.
It's harder out in the real world.
Yeah.
Because you got too much political correctness out there. You have in the schools, you can't do and say the things that really can affect and make an impact.
Right.
Whereas inside of a detention center where there's control,
Structure,
and you can make an impact, and nobody's going to you're not going to get in trouble for saying a word that doesn't sound politically correct.
Exactly.
You see, so anyway, I'm just shocked.
I'm loving this.
I'm shocked.
I'm loving everything about this. First of all, he's a Cancer, so he can't do no wrong in my eyes. Okay. When Deej told me he was a Cancer, I said, oh. Yep, he can't do no wrong because I love Cancers, and Deej just can't get rid of any Cancers in her life because we're like moths to a
Every single
flame.
business partner that I ever had was a Cancer.
And we're the best business partners to have.
Every last one. My cousin,
we
my
are
shorty, we had
efficient.
hair salon, everybody.
We like to get stuff done.
Everybody.
You know what I'm saying?
This
Cancers
is
are like,
incredible.
all right, what we doing? All right, let's do it. Let's get it done. So, like I said, I want to get into the fuckery. I'm glad that we were able to give Tony his flowers this morning. But I want to speak on some things because I'm a Cancer. Wow. And when things bother me, I want to talk about it. Okay? So I find it very fitting that the word of the day is simulacrum. Simulacrum. Okay? And the definition of this word, a simulacrum is a superficial likeness of something, usually as an imitation, copy, or representation. So, simulacrum, it says an imitation or a copy, right? I have a problem as a Glockaware affiliate, a part of this big G family that we have, and anything outside of Glockaware where I am associated or affiliated with a so-called conglomerate of people. I don't like when I see competition amongst affiliates, amongst family or so-called family. I think that this is the problem. This is why a lot of us Black people, brown people can't get ahead. There's no reason for people to be doing the same types of events on the same days or weekends without collaborating and doing them together. I think that that is counterproductive for what our end goal is as a Glockaware family or any certain family that we want to claim. If we can't come together and do these things together, we are always going to be apart, and it's going to be hard for us to elevate and grow as a group. And I'm speaking on this because it also ties into loyalty. And as a Cancer, I'm a very, very loyal person, loyal to a default. And I don't like imitation or copying of sorts. I think that it is cowardice. I think that it's not a form of flattery at this point. It is a form of, to me, disrespect. It's a form of trying to, cut a person off and try to get in someone's lane and cut out and not make their event as successful because now you're competing. I'm not with that. And I'm never going to support anybody's event that I think is intentionally doing that. I said I wouldn't say names, and I wouldn't say, and I'm not. Also, when it comes to loyalty, I am no longer going to support people who do not support me. I support a lot of people. I try to make it to everybody's stuff, and I'm only one person. So no, I can't make it to everybody's stuff, but I can honestly say there's not one person here at Glockaware that can't say that I've been to their event in some capacity, even Chills. I've been to some stuff that he's had, and I support everybody. But when someone is asked to support me and the reaction is anything other than sure, okay, I receive it. But just know that I'll move different. Just know that I won't be supporting certain things that I used to support. I won't be supporting them anymore. I'm not going to be spreading myself thin. My birthday is coming up Friday. So that's why I'm feeling kind of spicy. You know what I'm saying? Because my birthday is Friday. Shout out to all the Cancers, 7-11. I love my birthday. This is chapter 45 for me. My kids are grown, so I'm not into childish shit no more. And I'm not into biting my tongue anymore. As a Cancer, I've always been so sensitive, so timid, scared to speak up, speak out. Nope, not doing that no more. I am speaking on the things that I feel are important. And I challenge our Glockaware family to do better in supporting one another and to do better in collaborating and coming together. That's what I love about Chill. That's what I love about the fact that we came to Lawanda and let Lawanda know you don't have to do these things on your own. And you need to weed out the people that don't have your best interest. You need to weed out the people who are not serving your purpose. And shout out to those people who were weeded out because you're no longer a part of her mission. And I'm honored to be a part of what she has going on. Shout out to Real Mission Inc. Shout out to Lawanda. Shout out to people like us who are not looking for the check. I just want to see my friend succeed. I want to see her thrive, because when you believe in somebody, the money will come later. When you want instant gratification, yeah, okay, I might be able to give you a check right now, but that might be the last check you get. But if I support you boots on the ground right now and my friend becomes a millionaire or billionaire, who you think she gonna make sure she take care of? The ones that was right there, boots on the ground with her. You know, not looking for a handout, but just wanting to see her succeed. So shout out to people like us who are supporting the Philly Got Bars event. You want to speak on that a little bit, Chill?
No, I just want to ride your coattail a little bit because I can't stand people that I ain't gonna say I can't stand people that want immediate gratification. Life doesn't give you immediate gratification.
Not at all.
You get what I'm saying? So when you are coming across different events and different outsources or however, whatever, where it's like, okay, I could win this or I could do that or this could benefit me, you should take it as it should benefit you. You shouldn't be looking at it in any other form of positivity besides positivity. And for some odd reason, we have people that just don't, like you said, don't want to support when it's support. They'll support when it's convenient for them. You get what I'm saying? But I have this thing, and I don't know what it is. I sometimes I question, like, am I even from here? Because I want my friends to win.
Right.
You get my, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have this thing where I could step back from me being who I am to make sure everybody knows who you are.
Right.
And I don't see that. I don't see a lot of uplifting when it comes to Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I don't see a lot of uplifting when it comes to brotherhood, and I don't see a lot of uplifting when it comes, like, we have this thing right now where it's called social media, right? And instead of using it for a positive message, which we do have a lot of people that are trying to get their message out, you know, but I feel like it falls on deaf ears compared to the drama that is overwhelmed that you have to listen to.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And
absolutely,
I come from an era where the gangsters protected the neighborhood.
Let's talk about
That's the era that I came from. You get what I'm saying? So to me,
especially
looking
the women
around,
and the children.
For sure.
It was off limits.
We was told to go in the house.
The women and children were automatically off limits.
Off limits.
If you played basketball, you was good in school. You was off
making
limits.
sure you was
like, it was certain things that we had structure. There's no structure,
and that wasn't too long ago.
And it wasn't too long
and
ago.
And they moved in silence.
The
they didn't do a whole bunch of talking.
Fast.
They ain't do a whole bunch of none of that. It was like you knew who the real gangsters was because they ain't do all.
Because gangsters moved in silence.
Yes, they do.
It wasn't
about talking about nothing.
So even with that, like to just segue into this little dumb Jim Jones and Nas.
But before we go here,
what?
Because I don't want us to Jim the shooting.
Who? What shooting?
South Philly.
South Philly.
Oh, all the
go
shootings.
Out to the families. Yeah, it was 19 shootings.
It's like
19
57
shootings.
in total since July, I believe.
It was 19 just during the 4th of July.
4th of July weekend. Yes.
That doesn't make any sense.
And that's crazy.
That's
57 in total for July so
that's
far.
That's war rates.
It's ridiculous.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You know what I'm saying? Like people in war go to have that many.
But I'm not
surprised.
surprised.
Like,
I'm not surprised.
And that's the scary part.
That's
the scary part.
We don't have job opportunities for our youth like we used to. A lot of our youth programs are shut down. Our rec centers are shut down. Our roller skating rings are not in our neighborhoods like Elmwood and places like that.
Yeah.
We don't have anything in our neighborhood. Our pools are closed.
Y'all took the cartoons. Y'all took PBS. Y'all took Channel 12. Like
these kids don't even. Ain't no Saturday morning cartoons like back in the day. Sit up, watch, eat your
cereal. That kept me in the house during Saturday mornings.
Right.
I ran home after school because my favorite cartoon came on at a certain time.
Some blocks can't even have block parties anymore. They banned.
It was like a thrill to have an after school special. Remember the days when we used to run home and be like, oh my God, it's an after school special.
I was dancing on air. So I
Oh my God. Yeah.
Sure.
That was the show. I couldn't wait to get home. I always wanted to be on there. I was so mad I wasn't from Winfield. I feel like Winfield people, got lost as this priority. My girlfriend Gigi was on Dancing on Air.
I shared the stage with Kelly Ripa, so I know how important how much people look forward to that, and it's just not the same.
It's like nothing. The kids don't have none of that anymore.
And parents aren't parenting like they used to. Back then it was a village. Really. Like my grandmother raised me, and I grew up on 57th and Pine. From whatever 100 or 57, that whole 5700 block. Anybody on that block had the right to chastise me if they caught me doing something that I ain't had no business. And I would dare say, you ain't my mama, my dad, you ain't my grandma. Don't matter.
That's how I was on Wilder Street.
I'm going to beat your ass.
It was like that
if I have to.
It was the same way for me, but it was a little bit different because you don't know who your parents know. So if I'm walking down the street and I'm with my friends and I might be F this and F that, as soon as I see an adult, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yep.
Because you don't know.
And they'll tell on you.
Oh my God.
Do something.
These kids don't even care. They curse up. They cursing on the bus. I remember when we was kids, if you got on the bus and there was old people on the bus, you didn't curse in front of the older people. Like, you didn't carry on like that. You waited until you got off and then you did what you wanted to do. Like, somehow, some way, we got to get back to the order of things. The level is a tier. There's elders, and hey, my big bro just walked in. Shout out to Lean. Shout out to my bro Lean. But like it's we got to get back to that, to where men, young boys respected the men in the community, and the women and the young ladies respected the women in the community. Like, even churches aren't the same. Churches are just, to me, for profit. It's not about really going and boots on the ground helping the people in the community. There's no reason why pastors should be driving around in Bentleys and you got people that's homeless a part of your congregation.
No, that's
how is that possible?
Wow. And then telling them, never mind.
Like what? Like, what are we talking about?
That's a whole show.
That's one of the reasons I ain't gonna lie. Like, and I grew up in the church. Like, from Wednesday to Sunday, I was in church, choir girl, usher, all that stuff. I no longer attend church because of what I see going around. It's too cliquish. It's too cult-like. And what church is supposed to do for people is not doing that for people. It's a show. So I do yoga, I meditate. I have church in my house with me and my God, and that's all I need. And it keeps me sane and it keeps me grounded. And I don't feel any less spiritual than the person who goes to church. Probably. I just don't delve in religion, because to me, religion is where the handcuffs come in. Like,
religion
now,
separates.
There you go.
Well, religion means to hold back or
part.
bind. The root word of religion is relig, which means to hold back, bind, or keep apart, and that's what it means. So, it
definitely does its job.
And that's the truth.
So back to the shootings in the city, right? What can us as the residents, as parents, what is it that we can do to try to stop this? Like, we have Philly Got Bars. That is an anti-violence event. Shout out to Lawanda, who it is partially funded by the city of Philadelphia. The purpose of it is to expose people to anti-violence events and things like that. But aside from that, like, what do we do as a community to counter these things? Because it's scary. Like, I got kids. Like, you know what I'm saying? My daughter
Well,
was
this
like,
a-
she was like, oh, I've been to Seventh Element before. 13 people just got shot there.
Well, this is the perfect segue for Tony, for Mr. King, for why he's here. One of the segues for him.
I'm so overwhelmed.
He is.
Chill.
So I'm gonna pick this up.
You guys,
so just in case you
oh my
guys
God,
didn't
I'm
see, so
just-
I can tell you who our guest is.
Chill is here. I'm so overwhelmed.
So this is Mr. Tony Defects King, who is running for state rep.
That's what I'm talking about.
He is running for
That's
state
black
We
rep.
need another
excellence.
flyer here for
Black
Glockaware.
excellence.
We
That's
need to
what I'm
put
talking
one up
about,
here at
man.
Glockaware
And
so people know.
that is why
That's
we
fire.
have invited him on the show today.
Can you get a couple of them put up here? So I can put
Yep,
them
I'll
in
get him
there?
to give us some
Yeah,
more.
see?
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. And
And
we're going to talk to Mr. Defects
she's my
about
biggest motivation.
why he's here, how we met, actually.
Yes. Listen, I'm so overwhelmed by, first of all, this gentleman being here. I'm so overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed that every time I think about the temple motto, it actually comes alive. Diamonds in our own backyard. How can I be living 4 or 5 blocks away from this woman
Right.
and don't know it?
Wow.
This woman is so talented.
Aw, thank
How
you.
can I be living so close to this woman and she's like my my not my
Like your
kryptonite,
spirit
but my
sister.
energy. My energy.
I
Or
love
like,
that.
you know, the spinach that Popeye.
Oh, I love that.
You know, I mean,
Oh.
and I'm not, because it's the people like Miss Khadijah that makes me keep going. Okay, but I'm gonna run down this quick list that she asked me to answer because I don't want to dominate the time. But basically, I'm a father. You know, thank God, because it's time for me to be a father. Number 2, I'm an athlete. You know, previously I was a cyclist, bike racer.
Okay.
That's like golfing for black people. I mean, very, very elite, and it's very hard for blacks to break into, but I broke into it and I had a little bit of success. But now my sport is basketball, and I'm trying to break a world record in basketball.
Wow.
It's a discipline that I don't want to say nothing about because I'm still working on it.
I love
But also, I'm a founder and president of a TOFI fraternity, which started at West Philly High in 1988. And I want to give a shout out to the Globe Times.
I saw that in there.
Oh.
They wrote a story about a TOFI. They were the first to break the story because, like Chill was saying, they suppressed the good news. They wrote a story, the Southwest Globe Times.
Wow.
They wrote a story about a TOFI that started at West Philly High among students as a motivation to keep coming to school during the AIDS and crack epidemics. So we were like motivation for each other to come to school. We were the roll call. Where's so-and-so? He didn't get to school yet. Where's so-and-so? We were like peer support. You know, so it was interesting. But Southwest Globe Times they're going to be known and they're going to go down in history of being the first to break the story. What's special about a TOFI? A TOFI is the only black fraternity founded in Pennsylvania. And I didn't know this. We didn't know this. I didn't know this until maybe like a month or 2 ago.
I didn't hear of it until I saw your.
I didn't know we were the only fraternity that started in the state of Pennsylvania.
Can you start a sorority so I can be
in the state of Pennsylvania, but anyway, but you know, it's a lot of interesting things, and you know, again, I was born and raised in Southwest Philly, 46 and Woodland Avenue, right in the heart of University City. It's the richest area. You live in the richest area of the city. It's
crazy,
You live in the richest area of the
right?
city. It doesn't look like it, but it is. We live in the wealthiest part of the city. Ask the senators; they will tell you. They will tell you.
They got them schools here big there.
Yes, you said that the other day, and that's why
You didn't even know them schools was.
you said
I
that
grew
the
up on
other
Chester
day.
Ave.
Yeah, Chester, what in Chester?
50th. Right
Okay,
down the street.
you too.
Yeah.
That's
Right. King Session. I know, yeah.
wealthiest area of Philadelphia other than Chestnut Hill, but I don't consider Chestnut Hill wealthy.
Right.
Part of Philly.
Right.
They don't really want to be a part of Philly.
They really don't. They want to be
Oh,
around
right,
County.
right,
They want
right,
to be
exactly.
Montgomery County a little bit.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, they don't want to be Philly.
Right. Why I'm running for state rep. I'm running. There's a short answer and there's a long answer. The short answer is it's in my blood. It's in my blood. I grew up living in my uncle's house, the late Senator Hardy Williams. While I was in elementary school, they made me clean up. They didn't make me, but I was living with him and I was cleaning up around the house, taking care of the house when he wasn't there. People answering the door, coming to the door. Walking up and down the steps, putting flyers in the door, stuff like that. And I remember one day there was a knock at the door, and my uncle wasn't there, and my uncle called. He said, "Tony, somebody's coming, but just let them in. Just let them in. I'm not there. I'll tell them I'll be there." While he was there sitting in the living room, I was entertaining him with my little violin and everything, trying to keep him busy. And then there was a big grand piano in the living room. That person was the first mayor of Philadelphia, Wilson Good.
Wow.
So I'm sitting there entertaining the first black mayor of Philadelphia, not even knowing it, because I'm in elementary school. I'm like 5th grade. But so the short answer is it's in my blood. I started just doing little, and we always spent a lot of time at the headquarters. We called it the headquarters, which is which was at 52nd and Walnut Street. But I'm also running. Here's the most important reason that I'm running for state rep is there's an elephant that's been sitting in all of our living rooms. It's breaking our furniture.
You breaking mine.
It's breaking our furniture. It's eating our food. It's playing video games all day long. And that elephant that's been sitting in the room is called PPA, Philadelphia Parking Authority. Philadelphia Parking Authority. And they're a huge problem. They've been a huge problem. The only way we can deal with them is by having someone in Harrisburg like me and like Miss Khadija. Miss Khadija is even more fanatical than I am.
Yes.
When it comes, I'm more pragmatic.
She will go down there and fight the people at the office.
But the thing is that I have to teach her how to harness it and redirect it. Because the filling out the petitions and all of that's none of that's going to work. You need somebody in Harrisburg that is focused on this. Anyway, there's a lot of things that occurred that really got this ball rolling. In 2009, if everybody can remember, there was a SEPTA strike for like 6 days. 6 days is not bad, but 6 days is bad during the mortgage crisis. Do you remember the mortgage crisis? Remember the mortgage crisis? So, and when that occurred, that's when I officially became a two-wheeled man, motorcycles. And I said, you know what? There's more freedom with the motorcycle, the scooters. I can park. I don't have no issues, and all that kind of stuff. And so I became like a two-wheeled man for a while, and but then what happened in 2010, to raise money, the government started cracking down on the motorcycles. Suddenly, you can't park on the sidewalk in front of your house. They put a $76 ticket on the scooter. That's more than the note for the scooter.
Right.
And they just started bothering scooters, motorcycles, and stuff like that. Just started bothering us a whole lot. Most people don't know this because most people drive cars. So what happened when I started fighting them and realizing, hey, these guys are not following the laws. They're not following the law. The sidewalk is not a crosswalk. Crosswalk is not a sidewalk. They don't care. Pay the ticket. And when I saw that they were doing this, I said, ooh, they're doing this to everybody. This is like a lifestyle for them. This is just open book. Collect money, collect. It doesn't matter if you're in the right and they're in the wrong. Doesn't matter. You got to pay. So that's how I got, started saying, you know what, I'm talented to get to deal with these people. The record, by the way, you asked me what my wins and losses were. Well, unfortunately, it's 2-2.
Okay.
Well, at least it's 2-2. That's 50,
You can turn the air back on. Sis.
Unfortunately, it's 2-2. I have 2 wins against them, and I have 2 losses against them. The problem is with the PPA, even when you win, you lose. So, and it's designed that way. It's designed that way. It's designed. The system is designed where you never win. You never can, and even when you win, you lose.
Wow.
Example: if you win, you don't get any money that you spent. You don't recoup any money, or you can't recoup any money that you spent in the route of getting that win.
Right.
You can't collect.
Wow.
If you spend $200 trying to get justice, well, you get the justice. You may get the justice, but you don't get that $200 back.
Right.
So was it worth? And it's designed that way. Yeah. So the people need a way to be able to get justice without being hurt at the same time, or without losing. Just recently, they just actually increased the prices and increased the prices of
which is crazy.
The residential. Also, there should never be a ticket for parking in front of your own house.
On my street, 2-hour parking.
So
insane.
And they just
insane.
They started it the last 5 years. Like
why is it 2-hour parking on
ran
residential
up and down
blocks?
On Springfield and Chester Ave and Woodland Ave. Like these is blocks that was like residential neighborhoods. So when they started putting it to the point where I can wait a minute, hold on, my brother live here. What you mean I gotta pay?
Exactly.
Like they don't even make no sense.
And that's where my troubles all started.
That's when universities took over though.
Right.
Yeah. And
University took over.
So there's a 70 day increases to $76 to have a permit to park where you live, and it's $76 per car. So if you got 2 cars, that's $76 each car.
Right.
Is that per year?
A year.
Okay.
Yes, a permit. Yeah. Well, I think actually it's by month. Like
$76 a month.
No. It's I think they give you either a 6-month or a year.
Okay.
Because there's renewals and stuff that are involved. But they also did it to motorcycles and scooters and stuff too, $50. So why should someone have to pay $50 to park in front of their house? Now the motorcycle is not enforced, is like the car residential part, but it's there. Yeah, it's in the law.
Right.
Wow.
It's in the law, and it's a lot of things in the law that the public doesn't know about. The public believes that it's only about these tickets out on the street.
They robbing the blind.
But the underbelly is the things that I can attack, that I want to attack, and that I need people like you to help join my team to do it. I don't want to give too many details out because I don't know my opposition may look at this one day. And it's easy for them to bandwagon on this because he's already in office.
Right.
But yeah. So anyway, moving right along. I mean, the issues are many with these guys, and I just want to say that state politics. You have to think of the big picture. You have to think about, it's not like city. It's not city. Somebody like me can sit down with a bunch of Republicans in the middle of Western Pennsylvania and actually agree with each other.
Right.
They're not listening to that socialist, progressive bullshit. They don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. Some of those people are racist and stuff. They don't want to hear that socialist, progressive bullshit about men using the women's bathrooms and stuff like that. They don't want to. They want to sit down with people like me, regular Democrats who know how to make sense about things. So that's why it's important for me to represent our area. And not only that, we got somebody from New York City representing us.
How can someone like myself chill? I'm sure Deej already knows how she can help, but how can somebody like myself be a part of your fight, your campaign, and just help, your agenda? Because really your agenda is our agenda.
Yeah, well, I would zero in on everybody's individual talents. Because if you don't like doing something, you're not going to continue doing it. You're not going to continue doing it. Like, for example, if Chill, he might be good at writing letters. Or blogging or something, and I would say good, do that.
Okay.
Because you can't give people things to do that they don't really like doing or that they're not talented at doing.
Right.
Like me, I love putting up posters in the middle of the night. It reminds me when I was a wall writer. You remember those days because you're Generation X. Right. I love being out in the middle of the night putting up posters. I love it. The same posters. Let me show them that poster.
Yeah, they everywhere up in our area too.
I love doing at night. I love this because this reminds me of when I was a youth at Beat Street and
the king of the beat.
right. all that tagging. Well, that's what it reminds me of, and I still enjoy it. So if I didn't enjoy that, I wouldn't be doing it. But anyway, answering your question, I would just focus on everybody's individual talents. I learned a lot from Miss Khadijah's Instagram and stuff like that, and she loves Instagram, right? I would say do everything you can on Instagram to get the word. Give people what they're talented in. You know what I'm trying to say?
Right.
And that's how I would ask you. So at this time, I can't really answer the question 100% because I don't know what you're
No, that was a great answer.
But I do know what Miss Khadijah likes. She likes Instagram.
Yeah.
And Mr. Chill, I know he likes the microphone. So I would figure out something to do.
Well, just
she
know
does
you.
line dancing. And
Yeah,
Right,
just
exactly.
know that you
She's an
have our
actress.
support.
Yes.
Any way that we can be a part of your campaign. You have a headquarters now right here at Glockaware.
Yes.
You want us, do certain events here, you can definitely use our headquarters. Right, Toucan? Because we're all for the
But
fight.
the most important thing, you gotta have fun. Like
We always do.
you gotta have fun. Politics can be fun if you're fighting for a real cause.
Yeah.
Yes.
Parking authority is definitely somebody that we gotta deal with, but we gotta deal with them in a fun way.
Yeah.
We gotta enjoy it. You see what I'm saying? We have to have clear objectives, and that's all I want to say.
Yeah.
Well,
You need more recreation.
yeah.
We need
Well,
all that.
our time is running out, but before we get out of here, Mr. Tony, can you tell the people where they can follow you, or how can people email you or be in touch and just be a part of this fight with you before we get out of here? How can people get in touch with you?
Wow, how can people get in touch with me? The QR code, or well, not the QR code. How can they?
What's your social media platform? What's
Right,
social media
social media.
platform?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, my fault. Sorry, King. Yeah, see,
Gotta
see, that's what I mean.
translate.
That's what I mean. Exactly.
Yeah.
King4rep.org.
Yeah.
Okay.
King4rep.org. King number 4
R.I.P.
rep.org.
.org.
Now, is that your handle for your social media, or is that just for your website?
Website.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So make sure y'all plug in to what Tony has going on. It's definitely going to be in your benefit if you're a resident of the city of Philadelphia. Deej, thank you for bringing him on. I've been I already signed the petition that she had going on, and I saw her frustration. I feel her frustration. If we live in the city, you have a car, you already know how we all want to just punch PPA in the face. So we all feel that gripe. We all want to support what you have going on. And thank you for coming onto this platform. Thank you, Chill, for unexpectedly
Facts.
getting in the hot seat.
Wow.
Before we get out of here, Philly Got Bars, September 6th. Make sure if you're an artist, submit your videos because we will be closing that soon. Anybody that wants to sponsor, we are looking for sponsorships and pledges. Donate. This is for a great cause. It is an anti-violence campaign. Make sure that y'all sponsor, pledge, donate. If you don't have money and you have a store or you have a clothing brand or something you want to give as a prize, get with us, people, okay? Also, Sunday, Petey Crack is having a showcase at Limitless. Be there. It's going down. Any Glockaware event, you know is going down. Next Tuesday, I will be back at it with my line dance events, Two-Step Tuesdays at 51st and Walnut at 5118. Walnut Street is called 52nd Street Lux Lounge. If you also want to book an event, if you even want to do some stuff for your campaign or whatever, it's a great space. Shout out to my bro. He might be having his party there. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about August. Leo season is coming, but I ain't rushing to get into Leo season because it's still Cancer season. You know, so let us be great. Listen, we about to get out of here. Thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure y'all download that Glockaware app. We're on all platforms.